I ran this Facebook ad on KW Command, through KW Command, and got 41 leads in, I think it was 2 days. So I am going to show you today in this video what I am sending to them after I get their information and they become a lead. So this particular listing, my cost per lead was only 63 cents, total budget of $30. There's still $5 left to spend. The house is sold, so we're moving through this one really quickly. And 41 cost per click. So we're going to take the listing down now as soon as all the contracts are signed. Okay, so this is a quick peek at the ad. Now, if you did not see my video on how I created this ad, I'm going to put the video in the info cards and in the description below, depending on how you get to everything and what device you're on, okay? So I created this ad. Now, in all fairness, one of the reasons why it generated 41 leads is because everything right now is moving super fast. Anything under 400,000 is just flying, multiple offers. That's just how it is right now. It's the season. And so what I did is I pushed the whole $30 budget at my ad to spend within 3 days. Now, I should have known better. I should have just done 1 day, spent the whole $30 and been done, because our houses are selling that fast in this, especially one like this. All right, so let me show you what it is that I'm sending them after the fact, okay? So once I get these leads, I'm using SmartPlans. SmartPlans are email and text automation that follows up with my lead for me so that I'm not doing all of that work manually. Now, KW Command has given us some standard SmartPlans that you can use. Then they've also given us the ability right here with this create button to create new SmartPlans from scratch, which is what we are going to do here. Now let me take you a look, let me show you the one I created, and then I'll show you how to create it, okay? So I created a SmartPlan, and this one is email only, but I could add in text if I want to. And it's going to send them an email. And if you hover over these, you can see what it is that we're sending. And I'm going to open this so that you can see it without the little purple link there. And then I have a 1 day delay. So I send them an email, and then it pauses. And then it adds them to another SmartPlan. Okay. So we've created a whole bunch of SmartPlans for our leads, and they're all divided up based on the category they fall into. So a buyer is going to fall under our buyer arrival plan, which then, after a certain amount of time frame, spins them off into our buyer survival smart plan. And then if we still have not heard from them after that one runs out, they move into our buyer revival smart plan. They're also on our monthly newsletter, market report, that type of thing. I'm going to show you how this all functions. Now, if you don't want to build a smart plan like we're going to do here in just a moment, you can talk to my brothers Jeff and Paul over at Ballen Brands, because they have my entire suite of smart plans for sale. They build custom smart plans. They can help you integrate all of this. All right, we are going to name this smart plan. Okay, what we're going to do is, if you look over here, I have my smart plan called Facebook Ad Email Only. Every time I get a new listing, I can go over here and find that smart plan, click on the 3 dots to the right. Hold on, that one's not working that way. Let me look at, what I want to do is duplicate it. So let me see why that wasn't letting me duplicate it from there. Okay, here's the smart plan. Oh, there it is, duplicate smart plan. Okay, so here's the smart plan that we created. Basically, it looks like this. I'm going to walk you through what the message has, and then we'll go recreate it, okay? So the message says, "Hi, Mary. I wanted to let you know that the house you looked at on Facebook, the 2-story home in the Lakes, Las Vegas, with a pool for $399 has sold. The Las Vegas market is hot. I took the time to create this list of homes that are similar in price and feature to the one we advertised on Facebook. Would you like us to send you listings under 400,000 as soon as they hit the market? And then I've got my signature. After they get that email, the system pauses for 1 day. We call that a delay. And then they get moved into my buyer arrival SmartPlan. And I also have them being added to my monthly real estate market report. Okay. So these are all, you can do all of this within SmartPlans. Now, the tricky thing is that as of today, we still do not, and this is mid 2020 when I'm making this video, we still don't have the ability to trigger a SmartPlan or fire SmartPlan, start the SmartPlan based on a certain trigger. So what we hope will happen in the future is if this tag is applied, then add them to this SmartPlan automatically, start the SmartPlan automatically. Or if Facebook lead ad equals Sapphire Springs, then add to Facebook Sapphire Springs campaign. But we can't do that yet. So what we are doing is we create the SmartPlan and then we just add them manually to the SmartPlan. And then everything else after that happens automatically. Okay. Now, the reason I created this is because I was thinking to myself, okay, I've got all these SmartPlans, start sending them just general information about the Vegas market and asking them questions. But what about that very first initial communication? How do they remember that? How do they even know who we are? How do they even know why we got their email or whatever? So I wanted something more personalized. Okay. In the past, I would send a brochure, a PDF or something of that listing, and you can do that as well. And I've showed that in other videos. But in this particular case, this home already sold. So this is going to be an email that goes out after the property is no longer available, and I could make something similar where the property is available and give them more information. But in this particular case, that house sold really fast. And so here's the email. And I'm going to break this down so you understand why it's like it is and what you need to change. So I wanted to let you know that the house you looked at on Facebook. So I'm reminding them that this was a Facebook ad. This was something they looked at on Facebook. If you also ran this ad on Twitter and Instagram at the same time, you might say something more like, I wanted to let you know that the house you looked at on social media, or we recently ran an ad on social media for this listing and you expressed interest by clicking on it, or something like that. We're basically just saying, hey, here's how we know that you looked at the property. So I'm specifically saying Facebook because I only ran this ad on Facebook. Okay. The 2-story home in the lakes, Las Vegas, with a pool for $399. So what I'm doing now is I'm saying this was the house that you looked at, right? What they're probably not going to remember maybe is the neighborhood or the fact that it was 2-story. Maybe they're going to remember the $399 with a pool, or maybe they will remember the 2-story that was $399, or they'll remember the home in the lakes that had a pool. So I'm putting in several features there because I don't know what caught their attention, and I want to strike a memory with them that they clicked through so that they're not offended that I'm reaching out to them. Okay. And then I say the Las Vegas market is hot. I'm trying to create a little urgency here. And then next I say I took the time to create this list of homes that are similar in price and feature to the one we advertised on Facebook. Okay, so let me just start with that one. For some reason, when I'm making my little spaces here, they're not sticking, the little spaces in between like I usually do, so I'm just letting it be all bunched up like that right now. I think they're working on SmartPlans today. So right here, what I want to show you is I took the time to create this list of homes. All right, first of all, I took the time. I put that in there so that they understood that I did something as a courtesy for them. So I took the time, or I went to the trouble of, those are kind of these little touches that say, I did this for you. It's personal, right? To create this list of homes. Now, let me show you how I got the list of homes, because this list of homes, one is specific to that type of house, those features and price. And it's dynamic, which means it updates every time there's a price change or a new listing or something like that. So no matter how many times I send this email out over a period of whether it's a week or 10 days or 1 day or whatever it is, it's that list will be valid to whoever clicks through. So all you have to do to get that list is we go over to our website. So this is the page. I'm going to show you how to build it. This is the page that we are sending them to. And this is a page with homes in that general area that are all priced. I've got them sorted lowest to highest, which I'll show you in a moment. They all have a pool and they're in that area. So they're going to be close. Now maybe that listing had 4 bedrooms and right now I've got homes in here that have 3, but I don't know because they didn't mark when they clicked through. I don't know what caught their attention. So if I don't want to automatically eliminate, I want to give them lots of options when they start searching. Let me show you how I got here. So what you do is you just open your KW Command website. So I'm just going to our KW Command website that we all have. And by the way, I mentioned earlier that my brothers, Paul and Jeff, do SmartPlans. They also build out these websites. So if you want some, your home value widget, or you want your home value calculator, you want the fancy images and slideshows and whatever, and you're not going to sit down and do it, they do that for you. They do a lot with Command. So talk to Jeff and Paul. They can walk you through it all. All right. Now, what you want to do is I am going to type in the area that this listing is in. So in my case, we use a lot of zip codes here in Vegas. So we have $2.3 million, 2.3 million people in the greater Las Vegas area, and we have a lot of houses and areas. So our town is broken down by master plan communities. It's broken down by northwest, southwest, and it's broken down by zip codes. So depending on where we're at, I'll use a different type of search. In this particular case, I'm going to use 89117, and the reason for that is that's where this listing was. And it's a large enough area that I'm going to get a lot of inventory that they can look at when they first land here, and then they can tweak around and play with their search however they want. Okay. So I'm going with 89117. And when you first log in, I'm going to reset all these filters so you can see how I chose them. I have a cat right now sitting on my screen. I cannot see. There we go. Moved him over. All right. So let me see if I can. I'm going to clear these. Reset, because I want you to see how I put them in there. Clear filters. Okay, there we go. So these, when you first log in, it's going to be generic, and it's just going to show all homes that are in 89117. So for right now, I have 334 properties showing up in 89117, with 98 of them being on the screen where they can filter through. So what I want to do is I want to say, okay, let me get rid of all the condos, because if they were looking at a 2-bedroom house with a pool, they're not looking. Condo isn't what caught their attention. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to property type, and I'm going to select houses. That's going to then change the search. Now I'm down to 241 properties. The next thing I want to do is look at this little for sale option. And I want to make sure that I'm featuring active listings, coming soon listings, new construction, foreclosures, and short sales. They're all in there, but I don't want pendings or sold in there. The next thing I do is, okay, now it changed to 242. I'm going to click on more. And now is where I need that pool, because in our case, what I know is if I ran a Facebook ad for a home with a pool, there's a very good chance that that price and that pool is what caught their attention, because it's such a hot feature. If I was running a Facebook ad of a home on the golf course or something like that, I would want to pull something similar for this first follow-up email message. Okay. So this KW Command does not yet have all of those fancy fields like we have with my other website, 90X Broker, that I often teach, homes with a basement, homes with an attic, homes with a dog run, homes with green features, all those types of things. We don't have that. Instead, what we have is the ability to search by keyword. So what you're going to have to do is try it and see if you get enough options. I'm laughing because my cat is just fighting to sit on the computer as I'm making the video. I'm going to type in keyword pool. This works in my case. I've tested it. Okay. So you're going to have to see if that feature is coming up when you type in keywords. And I don't care if it's all the homes that have a pool. I don't care if it's, as long as I get enough homes with a pool showing up that's going to spark the interest of this buyer when they land here, potential buyer. Okay. So I'm going to search this. I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to leave living area alone, lot size alone, year built alone. Those are all just fine, and I'm going to leave it at pool. But I do think I'll go over to bedrooms. Actually, I think I'll go to price, and I'm going to start minimum price at $300,000 because they were looking at a $399. You know, well, the home showed really well. I don't want them to get a bunch of fixer-uppers in their search based on how I'm following up. So I'm going to say 300,000 or more. Let's just put that one in there. And then there we go. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure sort by price. So click this little to the right here, sort by price, select price, and then there's two tabs here. Make sure low to high is selected. So that way they're not getting $1 million homes since we didn't put in a max price, because I want them to be able to filter through and climb their way up. So I'm not worried about max price, but I do want to make sure it's sorted by lowest to highest. Okay. So maybe you want to start your minimum at 320 or 340 or 350, but look at, there's a house 314.9 with a pool, 3 bedrooms. That might also be interesting to that consumer. So I'm going to leave them on here, and look at this. We now have 220 properties that are showing up that are $300,000 or more, that have a pool, that are in the same zip code as that other listing. This is ideal. This is fabulous. It's definitely going to capture their attention if they click through. Now, these pages are dynamic, which means they update automatically, as I said before. If there's a price change, see how we see this little 5.1, it was lowered $5,000. If there's a price change, it'll show up on here. If there's a new listing, it'll show up on here. If one of these listings goes under contract, it'll disappear. Dynamic means it updates all by itself automatically. You don't have to do anything. A static page is more like a blog or a about us page or contact us page that has no updating features. Okay, this is beautiful because we don't have to do anything. I love this. Now up top, I'm going to drag this tab down so you can see it. Okay. Up top, there's this long URL, long, ugly URL. We need that URL because that is the specific address of this exact page. If you have forwarded your domain with like GoDaddy and you masked it, you will only see your domain name up here. You won't see this long URL. So I suggest unmasking your domain so that you can get to all of these pages. Okay, because I teach a lot on how to use these pages. And they're beautiful because we didn't build them. We just put in our filters. It's so amazing. So I'm going to copy this whole long URL. And that is the page that we're going to use in a minute when we create our campaign. All right, I'm going to drag it back up. Okay. So let me show you how we create this campaign start from scratch. Okay. So from the left-hand side, I want you to go over to SmartPlans, the applet right there, SmartPlans. They keep changing our applet icons, so and some of the names, so we go with the flow. All right, go up here to Create, and then name your SmartPlan. So this might just be Facebook ads, new listings, whatever. And then you're going to be able to duplicate that each time you need a new one, and you'll just change that link, and you'll change the property details to match whatever ad you ran. So in this particular case, maybe this is the duplicate. I'm going to call this one Sapphire Springs. And maybe, because I might have more on Sapphire Springs, I'm going to note that this was Krista's listing on my team. Okay? And then I'm going to click Apply. Or maybe you put the full address in there, whatever. Now remember, I'm going to have to go add the 41 people to this SmartPlan, either by tag or manual. That's the extra step that we have to do. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a new SmartPlan. Your SmartPlan can consist of tasks, calls, emails, text messages, delays. You can add them to another SmartPlan from here as well, or you can restart the flow. Those are right now the actions that we have the ability to do. So to create a text message, you're going to do this one, send SMS. You would just click it and it'll drop right in there. Now a text message I'm going to make much more simple. And it's going to be something like, hi. Now take this this is your mail merge. This is how you can pull in first name or some other type of merge. Click that and you'll see all your options. So I want to address them by first name. Now what you need to know is we will have their first name if we ran a Facebook ad that had a lead form. This is why I like to separate my Instagram ads and Twitter ads, because the way they capture is different. So if I'm running an ad on Facebook and these have all come in and I've used a lead form ad, I know their first name is correct because it pulled their first name from their Facebook profile. Now their phone number might be outdated, but I know that their first name is correct because it's whatever they registered their Facebook with. I love that part. So I'm going to use that. Hi, contact first name. It's Lori with Keller Williams. You looked at a home on Sapphire Springs. No, you looked at a home, 2-story, $399 home in Vegas on our Facebook ad, or through our Facebook ad. What sounds better? It's better for me to type this up in my Grammarly app first, but I'm teaching, so let's just go with it. It's Lori with Keller Williams. You looked at a let's do the little dash, 2-story, $399,000 home with a pool in Vegas through our Facebook ad. That listing sold. I took the time to create a list of similar homes. Are you looking to buy soon? Okay, now this is going to be a little different than my email message because I'm shortening it and I have to put this link in. I can't attach it anywhere because it's a text message, so I have to actually put the whole link in. So here's what I'm going to do for the text message. That long, ugly link that we copied is going to be way too long for a text message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to bit.ly. I'm going to go to bit.ly. That is the website I use to shorten my URLs. So whatever you want to use to shorten your URLs, I'm going to go to create, and this is a free account. I'm going to paste it in there. See how long and ugly that URL was? I just put in there. I don't know if you caught that. I'm going to title this. In this case, it's Homes 89117. Or maybe I just want to put this similar to Sapphire Springs. Or I could put Facebook ad 123, whatever. However, I'll remember this. Okay. And then I'm going to click Save. And it gives me this short link that's perfect for a text message. So I'm going to click Copy. I'm going to go back over to our SmartPlans, and I'm just going to paste that link right in between my question. And so I took the time to create a similar list of homes, and then they have that link. And then I ask, are you looking to buy soon? Now I might want to say it's Lori Ballen because they don't know me at all. It's Lori Ballen with Keller Williams. You looked at a 2-story, $399 home with a pool in Vegas through our Facebook ad. That listing sold. I took the time to create a list of similar homes. Are you looking to buy soon? That looks great. That's a great text message. Now, this text message will only send if you have activated Twilio. Twilio is not free, but it's really cheap. And what you do is you put some money in there in advance, like you put $20 in there, and then it will use those. And for your different types of texting, text with images, did you text out? Did you receive a text? And then it will let you know when you've depleted them and when you need to refill it. Okay. Twilio can be a little bit geeky. Again, my brothers Jeff and Paul do handle integrations and setup, so you can talk to them or you can watch my video on how to set it up. When you register with Twilio, if you get a 512 number, you can request a local area code. We're finding most of the time we have to call them to get that local area code activated. And at this time, they cannot call back that phone number. They can only text respond. If they call, they get a message saying this is only a textable phone number. And it doesn't say your name or anything automatically, so I make sure I always add it to the text message. It's Lori Ballen. I start off that way with Keller Williams because you're going to get a response that says, who is this, if you don't put that in there, okay? I'm referencing what they looked at, so they'll have some sort of memory. I'm specifically saying it was a Facebook ad, so they'll know they were on Facebook. And now they can respond with go away, unsubscribe, or yes, I'm interested, or not yet, or whatever. And you can, what I do is this first message goes to them, and then once they spin off to my buyer arrival campaign, then they'll start getting other messages and questions. This is just a let me get the first personalized touch, and then all of the standard emails campaigns can kick in, or smart plans can kick in. Okay, so that's our text message. Now, I will warn you right now that you need to copy this and save it really quick, and I use Apple Notes for this. I'm just going to save it right there because smart plans can be tricky, and oftentimes I'll hit enter or move on to the next one, and it will delete what I had before. So before I go on to the next step, I always take that message and copy it over to a notepad or somewhere so that in case I need to grab it again. It happens all the time. All right. Now, they get that text message day one. Okay. Now, I might also want them to get an email that day as well. So I'm going to now click over here on the right, send email. Okay. Now, I've already saved the email I want to put in here. So I'm just going to go ahead over to here, and I'm going to grab it and copy it, and I'll show you how this looks. Okay. So remember, to get this mail merge, this is now our email. You just say hi, and then grab that little F, mail merge, first name, comma. And then I wanted to let you know that the house you looked on Facebook, and that could be, I don't know why it won't take my colon, so I'm going to do that house you looked on Facebook, comma. I'll try that. The 2-story home in the Lakes, Las Vegas with a pool for $399 has sold. So again, just like in the text message, I'm referencing that. The Las Vegas market is hot. I'm creating a little sense of urgency. I took the time to create this list. Okay. Now, when you first put this in, you're just going to be typing. Let me get rid of that. You're just going to be typing this in or duplicating from the last campaign, from the last smart plan. So you're going to get rid of that link because that link is going to change each time you have a new listing because the homes similar to the ad you ran are probably going to be different. So I took the time to create this list of homes that are similar in price and feature to the one we advertised on Facebook. So now you take that bit.ly link, or you can take the long URL, either way. So I'm going to go back over to bit.ly. I'm going to make sure I copy it. The cool thing about a bit.ly link is you can also track it, and you can see how many people clicked it and things like that. So I took the time to create this list of homes. There we go. This list of homes. So I'm going to highlight the set of words that I want to be linked. I'm going to click this little chain link up here. That's where you add your links. And I'm going to paste the URL under link target right there. And then add link. You'll see your link turn blue and underlined. Depending on what your computer settings are, that's typically. Mine turned purple after I have viewed the link. I think those are kind of standards unless you make major changes in there. Okay. Took the time. And then I asked them this question. Would you like us to send you listings under 400,000? Now I would change that. If your listing was $799, I would put, would you like us to send you listings under 800,000? I would change this each time based on the listing that you advertise. Because if they clicked it for $399 and you could see the price and you ran the price on your ad, then there likely were okay with that price. Now, if you were running a Facebook ad and you didn't put the price and they clicked through, that's going to be totally different, okay? But if you included it, then you know they're probably kind of okay with that price range. All right, then I put my signature. Now, you always have to put your signature, at least as of today, mid-2020. Smart plans don't automatically add a signature. That could change 5 minutes after I make this video. But as of this moment, it doesn't. So I want to make sure that it's in there, or they will say, who are you, right? So I put that in there, and I put my team members' names because it may not be me calling them back or responding. It might be Krista, David, or Jeff. And then I put that and our phone number. If I wanted to include our URL, I could put ballengrouphomes.com and highlight that by clicking that link and typing in my URL there. But I really don't need to do that right now because I've already included a link up here that's going to take them to the website. So I don't need to make that repetitive. Okay. So now they have a text message they're getting day one. They have an email they're getting day one. The next thing I do is I now add them to another smart plan through this automation process so that they keep getting emails from me without me doing anything. So the next thing I do is I click right here, add to smart plan. Now, I will usually put at least a 1-day spacing in between because I don't want them to all of a sudden get my market report the same day or get whatever other smart plan starts. I don't want them to get bombarded with all these messages. So I'll put a 1-day delay. Now, how you do that is you click this set delay. Just click it. It'll add it to the smart plan. You can see it down here. And I'm going to use this little arrow to move that up. And now, after they get that text message, they get this email. After they get that email, there's a 1-day pause where nothing happens. And then what happens? I'm going to add them to the smart plan. So I'm now going to add them to my newsletter smart plan or to my market report smart plan, whatever it is that you have. And remember, my brothers build all these if you're overwhelmed. So I'm going to add them to my buyer, actually let me add them to my Ballen's buyer arrival. Ballen's buyer arrival right there. And I'm also going to add them, I'm going to do another delay, set delay, 1 day, set delay, 1 day, yep. And I'm going to add them also to add to smart plan. I'm going to add them to my market report. Maybe you have a monthly newsletter and this is how you want to add them to that. But your monthly newsletters you might be sending out through campaigns, so that might look a little bit different than smart plans. But I do have a real estate market report one that goes out every month with a link, so I'm going to include them on that one. Okay. Now, once they move off to my buyer arrival plan from right here, when that buyer arrival plan finishes, it spins them off to the buyer. The buyer arrival goes to the buyer survival. When the buyer survival completes, it spins them off to the buyer revival. So I don't know what it is in total, a year's worth of different messages and things like that. So arrival, survival, and revival. And those are the plans that my brothers also have. Okay, so now that this is all set, I'm going to show you what we do after we have the smart plan. So we're going to save this. So we have Sapphire Springs. We have finished everything like we like it. We're going to click save. Oh, something's missing. So when you get this red message up here, read what the error is. So it's saying, please complete all fields. I forgot to put in a subject line, sending the email. So my subject line is that house you looked at on Facebook. Okay. And then I'm going to click save. Perfect. Done. Now, the first thing I would do is I would put myself on this smart plan. So up here, I'm going to click this little person icon, click plus, and I'm going to find me. I'm in there twice. I don't know which one's which, so right now I'm just going to put both. Add to smart plan. Start all now, or do you want to start all on a particular date? So let's just say you have 20 people on the smart plan. Do you want to start them all at once? They're all going to get text messages that minute. Do you want to start these tomorrow because it's too late tonight and you don't want everybody to get text messages at 11 o'clock at night when you're building the campaign? Of course, actually, it'll still send tomorrow at 11, I think. Or do you want to stagger it over the next few days and say, divide them up a little bit? That way maybe won't get as many email spams or text messages, whatever. Or you can start them all now and just click confirm. So now it's going to immediately text me, Lori, and it's going to send me an email. So we'll wait a second. If the text message comes in while we're working on this, we'll know. Oh, I have text messages, but I'm afraid to show them on the screen. And I don't have my cell phone sitting next to me because I have multiple. Darn. Because I wanted to show you what that looked like. All right. Well, let's just, you know what? Let me pause. Hold on. Okay, got it. Okay. Down at the bottom here, it says, here's the message I got. And I got it twice because remember I had 2 Loris in there. So here's the message we just sent. Hi, Lori. It's Lori Ballen with Keller Williams. You looked at a 2-story, $399 home with a pool in Vegas through our Facebook ad. That listing sold. I took the time to create a list of similar homes. Are you looking to buy soon? And then click the link. Make sure it works. Sometimes on first land, it takes a second for everything to populate. That's the unfortunate thing. So you see how it took a second? Okay, I don't know on mobile, but that's what it looked like on desktop. All right, so we know our link is working, so everything was fine. In addition, we got our email at the same time. So take a look at the email, make sure it's fine. If everything is good, now you can go add all your other people to the SmartPlan. So what we're going to do here, we've got several ways to do this, okay? From the SmartPlan itself, you can click on the plus, and if you tagged everybody, this is what I suggest. As your Facebook leads come in from that Sapphire Springs ad, I would tag them or have your admin tag them as Sapphire Springs listing or however you're coding that listing. So then everybody's already tagged. You can drop them right into this campaign. It's going to make that easier. And then if you want to do any follow-ups, you know where they came from. So we use tags for properties, and it would look like this. Okay. So there, let's look at Yount's Peak. So we delete them after a certain amount of time, and we keep their other key tags, and then we put the source was in their comment, so we don't need the tag for it anymore. Anyway, so Yount's Peak, there's 2 people in there. If I wanted to, if these were the people that registered for Sapphire Springs, I would now click select all, and then I would send, and they would get sent the SmartPlan. If they have previously been in my database and they unsubscribe, then they won't get the SmartPlan. Okay. Not sure how it works with text messages. I have not fully explored that. But I know for emails, then they would be unsubscribed. It shouldn't resend them. Okay, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be to actually go into your, we'll go to the home screen. Actually, we'll go to contacts. We'll go to contacts. And as your leads are coming in, they'll be marked Facebook ad. There'll be a tag there that says Facebook ads as they're coming in. There will also be a little L next to them. I've already sorted through all mine so you can't see it. But there will be a little L next to it when they come in that they're leads. So if you know that all of these last 10 that came in they all say Facebook lead and they all came in at the same time, you know those are all from the one listing, then what I would do is I would assign a tag. So I'm going to go to select bulk action, and I'm going to add a tag, add bulk tags, and then I'm going to, so you would have probably created your tag first. Let me see, can I do it from here? Sapphire. Yeah, I can. Okay, so Sapphire Springs, and then create custom tag. And then if you're doing color coding, like so all your property ones are that color, whatever, and then click, I'm not going to do it because I don't know that these leads are, but then you would click submit, and then all of those people would automatically have the tag. Then you can go back over to that SmartPlan's little guy, click plus, and add everybody with that tag. That's a way to do it. You also could, if it's you or somebody else, depending on how you're managing things, as your leads come in, let me turn on lead pool and see if that does it. That's a fake lead. That's funny. Okay, so here we go. Oh, Sapphire Shores. I keep saying Springs. Okay, so here it is. Facebook ad lead. We can see that it was a Facebook ad lead. Okay, so now we're going to go up here to tags, and we're going to, I'm sorry, we're going to go to, somebody was knocking on my door, threw me off there. We're going to go to edit, and I'm going to go down to tags, and I'm going to tag this one maybe as Facebook lead. If I wanted to do that, I'm going to tag it as a Sapphire. The little tag we just added is not there yet. That might take a minute. Okay, but anyway, I also could add that tag from here. Sapphire Shores. Create custom tag. So I'm going to add a couple tags to this person, whatever. Click Save. Facebook ad, Sapphire. I guess we're going to need to give that one a minute to show up. Buyer, maybe it's a buyer. So see how you can select multiple tags? So we'll give it a minute. I've heard people say, and I know I've seen this before, that sometimes those custom tags take a minute to appear. You saw me add it twice, and it definitely does appear because I do these all the time, but it may not show up that second. Yeah, it's still not showing up, so we'll give that a minute. Okay, so the other thing you can do is as those leads come in, you go over to the right and you go to Smart Plans, add to Smart Plan, Sapphire Springs. Select Start Now, Start Later, Confirm. So now Hottie Toddy, enough said, is going to get my email and a text message from me following up on this. So then what happens is your text messages will show up if she responds. Oh, look, our text went through. Hi, Hottie Toddy. Oh, that's so funny. It's Lori Ballen with Keller Williams. Okay, so if you look up here, so even though she filled out a lead form and it should have pulled in her correct name, which it did right here in her email, so I can change that. She changed the form to say that. So just so that you know, that's how that works. So up here, all of your messages are going to show up if you click that bell, you're going to be able to see responses and everything here. In addition, it will also show up here in your timeline. So if she responds and says yes or go away or whatever she responds, it'll show up here in the timeline. The emails are a little bit funky and work a little bit differently. You'll be able to see emails you sent, but not the whole message. I don't know why that is that way right now, but see here, it says view email. So if I click view email, it just opens Gmail, and then I have to go look for it. So it's a little bit bizarre when it comes to that. So we'll see how that develops. But your timeline's going to have all of that. So you're not going to get a text message on your phone that somebody's responding and be able to go back and forth that way. But you will get a Kelly notification on your phone. You'll get the little bell icon if they respond, and that's how that works right now. So there's one other way to add people to a smart plan, I think, but I think that covers the gamut right there. So honestly, if you can do them each day or as they come in, it's much easier than trying to play catch up later. But otherwise, you could just, when the ad's done running 2 or 3 days later, you can respond. But speed the lead and all of that, I like to try to get to them as soon as they come in. If I have somebody sitting there or I'm sitting there, or I can use my phone to add them to the smart plan, whatever. And then maybe go through it at night and catch, did I miss anybody? Let me see if I missed anybody. Anyway, so there you go. That's the bottom line. And I wanted to show you that because I created that today, and I thought that was a nice setup. And if you have questions, just post them underneath the video below, or call my brothers, Jeff and Paul. They can talk you through stuff as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Lori Ballen in Las Vegas, Nevada.